Welcome to Politics on the Wheel with Jay, and this is Elite TV. Now, the judgment from the appeal court over the Kano gubernatorial election is still sparking a lot of reaction. And this shows that the judicial system is now up for sale. The highest bidder gets the judgment at the end of the day, because when you look at the issues surrounding the judgment of Kano State, some of us believe that the election was won squarely by the NNPP candidate, and this is no longer a matter of a political party or the political divide that you belong to. It is a matter of the survival of democracy in Nigeria. The democracy in Nigeria is suffering from high level of corruption and catastrophe in the hands of the All Progressive Congress administration. You could see that the tribunal, sitting in Nasarawa State, declared the PDP as the winner of the 10th March gubernatorial election. But today, the appeal court has overturned that result and announced A.A. Sule as the true winner of that said election. Now, this, give us a lot of question to ask as to how the judiciary, is coming with some of their kind of judgment. You will see some places where beavers were not used. They make use of the fact that the beavers were not used, and they go ahead to declare the other candidate as a winner. But whereas in the other judgments for another particular state, they will say that the using of beavers or not using of beavers have nothing to do directly with the election. And it shows that the Independent National Electoral Commission, are not truly independent as we are, told, because if you see, they actually, bypass some of the court orders to conduct election. Even the election that happened in Plateau State, there were court injunction to stop, some political party feeding up their candidate because of what transpired through the primary election in that state. But then the Independent National Electoral Commission still went ahead to do this, probably because of the obvious reasons that we all know already. But
there is no independent institution in Nigeria. In practical reality, anybody who tells you that INEC is independent would have, that's a story that you can tell to infants in Tale by Moonlight. In practical reality, no. Because there are some things that happens that shouldn't happen for an institution that is independent. When we talk about independence of institution, not in Nigeria, because there is no loyalty to the Federal Republic of Nigeria by those who have responsibility to hold to give loyalty to Nigeria. The loyalty is either those in power or those who have the capacity to detect the tune of what you are supposed to do, popularly come to be regarded in Nigeria now as the cabals. There are cabals in our electoral jurisprudence. There are cabals in so many of our institutions that they have no respect for what is called democracy. Because democracy in Nigeria, for instance, is not a product of the sovereignty of the people. If it were so, we would have not had what we are having. INEC is more, and when I say INEC, I mean the staff. Some of the staff, not all, and only infinitesimal number of them, because the chairman of INEC, for instance, cannot be everywhere in the polling unit. Who did you recruit to go to the polling unit for purposes of conducting election? Do they obey the rules and regulations thrown out by INEC itself? Are we holding them accountable? Who did? Because if you recruit a stupid person to perform a job for you, then he performed the job stupidly, you are held responsible for it. So that's one. Now, when you talk about reform, I think the reform that we need, because judiciary is an important arm of government, and it is only arm of government that is an exclusive preserve of the members of the noble profession of law, the legal profession. Because our qualification is not just ordinary school certificate or its equivalent. We went to university, went to law school, we had code of conduct. There is, I will advocate for now, that both the legal profession, both the member of the bar and the bench should have character reform. We must reform our character. we must have a defined goal. Do we want justice in Nigeria, or we want judgment devoid of justice? Because when you have the misfortunes to prosecute election petition, the attitude of some colleagues in the courtroom leave much to be desired. Secondly,
but you see, the Independent National Electoral Commission is not independent at all. They are more corrupt than we think. And this is because if you look at what they do in Plateau State and some of those states, that they ought not to feed in a candidate, but went ahead to do so. And it's something that, what can we say? But I think that it is time that Nigerians, rise up, to say no to this barbaricness of behavior coming from the APC-led administration. That many people will believe that you are supposed to vet your anger through the ballot. But it is obvious to the blind. I mean, it is obvious to everyone, just like Femi Falana said the other day, that the government and the political class are pushing Nigerians into an inevitable revolution. So it is very obvious that it will not take much more longer before the revolution will strike, and it will cut across the whole country. Let's tell ourselves the truth. It is something that we have had a political, or let me say an electoral revolution in 2023 general election, where massively people turn up to vote, and people speak through their ballot. But that never happened. Probably what happened in Liberia, what happened in Egypt, maybe what happened in some of those countries may repeat itself in Nigeria. Remember, when the hunger becomes too high, there is no more food to eat. The insecurity become too much. The people will feed on the rich, and the rich will have nowhere to run to because they can't afford to leave the country. Everywhere is going to be blocked. It is high time the political class rise up to say no. We must have to correct this, even if we must be corrupt or eat of the national cake. But we must avail ourselves and avail this cake to reach out to the poor of the poorest. If not, one day they will devolve on us, and the day is just like a minute from now. Nigeria is just like an egg right now, and at any point in time, anyway, what do you think about this? Let's have this conversation in the comment section. What do you think about the judgment on Nasarawa State? Should Ngubadu of PDP head to the Supreme Court, or he should just relax? Should the NNPP candidate also move to the Supreme Court in order to affirm his victory? What do you think about this? Thank you for watching. Please be civil when you give your thoughts at the comment section.